First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Welcome to WUFT News First at 5. I'm Kennedy Chambers.
And I'm Loren Miranda. Thanks for joining us. After several delays, it's finally move-in day for the residents of Sweetwater.
Parents and students alike have been frustrated with the setbacks in the construction that kept them from moving for several months. WUFT's Juan Chaoui is live in the newsroom. And Juan, you were there when people started to move in today.
That's right. I stopped by Sweetwater earlier this afternoon to talk with people about their experience over the last month. And like you said, mainly they're just ready to go home.
The fall semester is underway. Students finally settled into their new lives in Gainesville. However, delays with construction on top of Hurricane Idalia interrupted move-in times. Like many students, Jordi Triulsi was left without a place to stay.
Yeah, I was supposed to come here on the 21st. Sweetwater wasn't ready, so I stayed at the AC Hotel for a couple weeks. And then when they started delaying again, I had to stay at a friend's house. It's been a bit of a struggle moving back and forth.
Robin Salk says she's just like any other parent. She has concerns.
It was anxiety-provoking. Carly was luckily with a lot of her friends. There was not a lot of communication in the beginning, and a lot of it was last-minute communication. And then when the parents were really getting on them to communicate with us better, they started doing a weekly update and telling us what was going on.
And the update with Sweetwater, students moved in today.
A representative from True Point Communications stated in part, although Sweetwater experienced construction delays alongside so many others, we worked closely with the city to obtain all necessary approvals as quickly as possible. Live in the studio, Juan Chaoui, WUFT News.
Police in Gainesville say a mother and her boyfriend are responsible for the death of her toddler earlier this month. Detectives arrested Donry McLaughlin and Sean Lee II in Atlanta this week. They say back on September 1st, McLaughlin told officers she fell asleep, and when she woke up, the child was unresponsive. Through investigative efforts, police learned both the mother and her boyfriend were at work for 8 hours and left the toddler home alone with her sibling. The police have not yet told us how the child died. The other sibling was also hurt, but was treated at the hospital. Police then say the pair fled to Atlanta. Both were facing murder and child abuse charges.
The Marion County Sheriff's Office is looking for the person they say shot and killed a man in Summerfield. Deputies say it happened Thursday at a home on Southeast 174th Place. Investigators say when they arrived on the scene, they found 55-year-old Darius Jones lying on the side of the road. Detectives say they believe this is an isolated incident and there is no danger to the community. Detectives ask those with information regarding this case to reach out to Detective Andrew Canterbury or Crime Stoppers at the number on your screen if you want to remain anonymous.
After Thursday's strong storms, we're clear and sunny heading into the weekend.
WUFT's Julia Haley joins us now with more on how long sunshine and warmer temperatures will hopefully be sticking around.
After this afternoon, we now have Tropical Storm Ophelia, which is located around South Carolina and is mostly impacting the Outer Banks. But here in Florida, because of that system, we are seeing those sunny skies and drier conditions for today. And if you take a look outside of our studio, we're seeing those sunny skies with a few clouds sitting in the mid-80s. Not much rain at all now that that system has left our area. And that humidity, too, is lowering just a little bit, getting ready for fall as well. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But if you take a look at our temperatures sitting in the 80s and this evening dropping into the 60s. Back to you.
A correctional institution in Gilchrist County is training inmates to repair boats. WUFT's Alexa Herrera went inside the classroom to see exactly what they're learning and how it can help them get jobs.
Lancaster Correctional Institution's Marine Service Technology Program gives inmates the opportunity to gain valuable skills to use upon release.
20 inmates are part of this program, gaining hands-on experience in a field they are interested in. The goal is to have enough experience to get hired after release. In the Marine Technology Program, participants get to take apart and repair boat engines. Inmate Jody Hyde is one of the students who says he will use these skills in the future.
My dad actually has 6 defunct motors waiting on me when I get home, so it's, I'm still going to use these skills.
There is even a wait list for inmates who want to be part of the class. Hyde says many of the men enjoy having a space to learn in.
It teaches us new skills, it keeps us involved, it gets us out of actual prison environment. I tell a lot of these guys, this is an oasis.
The program is comprised of classroom learning with textbooks and videos, but mostly hands-on. Inmates gain experience in motor repair service and electrical system troubleshooting, among other areas. The equipment used is bought with money allocated to the programs. Companies will also donate old engines and tools. Program Administrator John Reed says it's important inmates have a skill set to use when they finish their sentence.
We're encouraging these guys to invest their time rather than to just do their time.
Reed says experiences like these will not only benefit inmates, but society.
We're not trying to build better inmates, we're trying to build better neighbors.
The program takes about a year to complete.
There are also 3 other programs, including environmental, culinary, and masonry classes that inmates can be involved in. Reporting live from the newsroom, I'm Alexa Herrera, WUFT News.
The city of Gainesville's lawsuit over a new law changing gun control over GRU landed in a Tallahassee courtroom this morning. HB 1645 is set to take effect in early October with a board appointed solely by the governor taking over governance of the utility. All parties, the city, the governor, the attorney general, and the secretary of state are asking for a summary judgment. Today, the judge told them to submit proposed owners by next Wednesday at noon.
The Department of Children and Families announced the Disaster Supplemental Nutrition Program in response to Hurricane Idalia. DSNAP will provide food assistance to individuals and families impacted by the storm. The program will apply to people who live or work in any of the counties impacted by last month's storm. Registration begins today, and the first step is to register on the DSNAP website at myflfamilies.com/DSNAP. There, you can also find specific requirements on whether you qualify.
Coming up when WUFT's First at 5 returns, Brightline's inaugural trip was derailed soon after it started.
After the break, we'll show you what kept the train from making it to its destination on time.
You're watching WUFT TV News.
Welcome back to WUFT's First at 5. Brightline's inaugural trip faced delays this morning after a train hit and killed a pedestrian. The train is scheduled to travel from Miami to Orlando in less than 4 hours, but there was a setback after another train crashed and killed a pedestrian in Delray Beach. It happened on the southbound train, according to a Brightline representative. Officers are investigating the scene and asked drivers to avoid the area. This is one of the 99 cases where people have been hit and killed by Brightline trains since they began operating in 2018. None of the deaths, however, have been found to be Brightline's fault.
It's been 5 years since the deadly mass shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. The Parkland community is ready to say goodbye to the part of campus where the tragedy took place. After the demolition, students and faculty say they want a proper memorial site for those that were killed. The school's 1200 building has remained closed and locked behind a fence since the shooting in 2018, but removing the building will not remove the reality of the 17 people the community lost.
It is important for us to have that building demolished so we can move forward in our healing process.
14 students and 3 staff members died in that shooting. Officials say the plan is to demolish the school building next summer.
The Putnam County Sheriff's Office has added a new mounted unit to its force. The department will add a pair of horses to assist their deputies. Deputies say the 2 horses, along with equipment, were donated by St. Johns County Sheriff's Office. They say these new additions allow them to form a deeper connection with the community. The office has partnered with Road Hever Boys Ranch, who will provide daily care for the horses. Sheriff Gator DeLoach says research has proven animals form connections with people and help them heal.
It's our hope that having this new mounted unit will give us an additional way to connect with the community that was somewhat missing before.
The Sheriff's Office says in the coming weeks they will release more information about the new unit.
I have to say, Kennedy, pink looks really good on you, but what were you planning on wearing for our Orange Out game tomorrow?
Don't get mad at me, but I was actually planning on wearing a denim dress.
Oh, don't worry. I won't tell anyone. But Julia, it looks like you're already ready for the game.
Absolutely. I love orange, and I'm all oranged out, ready for that game. I'll let you know if you'll need that orange poncho for kickoff after the break.
You're watching WUFT TV News.
Currently currently tracking Ophelia, which is impacting the Outer Banks, but also giving us some sunny skies here in Florida. So the Sunshine State is living up to its name for this weekend. And if you take a look outside, seeing those sunny skies lasting for this evening, sitting in the mid-80s for your evening as well. Those temperatures sitting in the mid-80s all around north central Florida for this evening. And if you're planning on going to the game, we're expecting those sunny skies to last. So if you take a look at our temperatures, currently going to sit for Sunday morning in the lower 60s, so a great time to get out, especially if you are driving up for the game from anywhere in north central Florida or anywhere in Florida. So it's a great time to get in your car and make your way to the Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. And if you are going to the game for Tom Petty night, we're seeing those sunny skies lasting. So we'll be under them skies of blue for your tailgate, and then we won't stop the sun from shining for kickoff. And then, of course, halftime won't back down. We'll see those sunny skies and clear skies lasting. And for your Sunday, staying around a similar type of condition with those highs sitting in the upper 80s. And also, first day of fall starts tomorrow. So the sun is tilted at the perfect angle where we actually get these beautiful sunsets that you'll see throughout the upcoming few weeks. And also, this one was taken just on Monday. So for me personally, I'm excited to see more sunsets like these. Fall foliage, if you take a peek, seeing those low color conditions, especially around the northern part of the United States, and then even here in Florida, just seeing little to no color. So we're going to see those green leaves lasting throughout this week and a little bit longer as well. So still looking like summer here in Florida. That's our Florida fall. And for your 6-day outlook, seeing a sunny sky, perfect for game day, and that sunshine lasting throughout your weekend. So it's a perfect time to get out and maybe even just soak up the sun while you still can. Maybe go play some sports as well, or just go to the pool. And then if you take a look, we are rising into the 90s by Monday, and then Tuesday another round of showers will start, especially because we have another system coming. So those highs are sitting in the 90s with those lows sitting in the 60s. Sun for your football game and the first day of fall, and showers throughout the end of the week. Back to you.
And coming up in sports, we have a busy slate of high school football tonight. Let's take a live look at PK Yonge as they prepare for their matchup with the reigning state champion Hawthorne Hornets. We've got a full preview of Friday Night Lights and much more when we return.
You're watching WUFT TV News.
Welcome to sports. I'm Rafael de los Santos. Friday night in Gainesville only means one thing. The lights are on, the fields are painted. Put your mouth guard in. It's time for high school football. WFC's Daniel Haviv is over at PK Yonge as they take on the Hawthorne Hornets tonight. Daniel, we know the atmosphere is calm now, but in a couple of hours, things should begin to hit up.
Yeah, and I'm here at PK Yonge, where tonight PK Yonge takes on Hawthorne in a big matchup. Coach Ingram and Coach Jackson, both former Gators turned high school football head coaches. Now I'm here with Coach Jackson. Coach Jackson, your team comes off of a tough loss to Union County. How do you guys respond?
Well, I think it's a great week to try to respond going against the defending state champions. It's going to be tough, but I mean, I guess that's what football is all made of. Coming up against challenges like this, coming against two tough teams who definitely will compete for the one rule state championship. It'll probably come through this area.
Now, Coach, tonight's a big game. You're going up against former Gator head coach at PK Yonge. How does this make you feel?
Well, it feels great. I mean, I have a bunch of respect for that coaching staff. I was a part of it for a few years at the beginning when they started their run. So, I mean, I have a tremendous amount of respect for them. We respect each other. We're actually pretty good friends. Every time we get a chance to chalk it up, we do so. But tonight it'll be a competitive type thing, and we've always had a great competitive spirit between Hawthorne and PK Yonge.
Thanks, Coach. Kickoff is set for 7 p.m. tonight. Reporting live for WFT News, I'm Daniel Haviv. Now we'll go across town to Chris Will to take a battle of undefeateds.
In just a couple hours, Citizens Field will host two powerhouse unbeaten programs in North Central Florida. Buchholz will take on Ocala Vanguard, with both teams boasting a 4-0 record. With an average margin of victory over 28 points, Buchholz now faces its toughest challenge this season. Vanguard has kept all 4 of their opponents this year to under 30 points. The Bobcats, on the other hand, have put up over 40 on 3 separate occasions to kick off the year. Florida Gators linebacker commit Miles Graham will look to lead the Bobcats rushing attack as he embraces a new offensive role here in Gainesville. Kickoff for tonight's matchup is set for 7:30. Reporting from Citizens Field, Chris Will, WFT News.
The Thursday night lights of Citizens Field saw Gainesville High School earn their first win since November 5th, 2021, last night. Led by quarterback Kane Smith and wideout Elijah Williams, the Hurricanes got on the board early and often as the duo combined to open the scoring. Santa Fe answered with a 70-yard effort from sophomore receiver Matthew Johnson, bringing the Raiders within one after a missed extra point. Gainesville's defense went on to hold Santa Fe scoreless through the third quarter, scoring 28 unanswered. Smith and Williams teamed up for the most points scored since November 5th, 2021 in that 28-10 victory over Eastside. The 25th ranked Florida Gators football team, fresh off their win against then 11th ranked Tennessee, is back in action tomorrow night as they face the Charlotte 49ers. Taking a closer look at the 49ers, they are 0-3 against AP top 25 FBS schools. They are also 0-3 against the SEC all time. This is their first of 3 games against schools from Florida, with matchups against FAU and USF in the coming months. UF will welcome back Charlotte Athletic Director Mike Hill, who spent nearly 25 years with the Gators before joining the 49ers. Former Gators quarterback Jalen Jones will finally have his chance to play in the Swamp after transferring from the program in 2019. The third-ranked Florida volleyball team begins SEC play with a split weekend at Auburn tonight and back at home against Georgia on Sunday. Tonight's matchup will be the 56th meeting between the Gators and the Tigers, Florida's first game without 2022 SEC Freshman of the Year Alexis Stuckey. Grad transfer Kennedy Muff took over at setter following Stuckey's injury in set 2 and is expected to acclimate to her new starting role on a true SEC road test at Auburn. First serve is set for 7:30 p.m. And in other Gator news, Florida soccer fell to Tennessee 2-0. The Gators are still looking for their first SEC win under Samantha Bohan. Florida swim coach Anthony Nesty made history after being named the first black U.S. Olympic swimming head coach. Nesty was the first black swimmer to win an Olympic gold medal in 1988. A trio of Gator gymnasts are heading to Worlds in Belgium. Sky Blakely, Kayla DiCello, and Leanne Wong make up 3 of the 6 spots on the U.S. squads heading to Worlds on October 1st. That's it for sports. I'm Rafael de los Santos.
A lost pet tortoise took a month-long trip before being found. On August 13th, Ymir, the tortoise, went lost. However, what his family did not know was that he was embarking into a more than 7 miles journey from Falls to Ransom Township in Pennsylvania. Ymir's owner, Catherine Durko, says she was worried about her pet. She says, posted the pet on a Lost and Found Facebook page, and within hours they were reunited as people recognized Ymir. Still, nobody knows what the pet did during those 30 days.
Before we go, one last check on the weather, Julia.
Hey, baby. That's right, Saturday is Tom Petty Day in the Swamp. So we are going to see those sunny skies under those skies of blue. Can't stop the sun from shining, and we won't back down during that third quarter with those clear skies overall. But if you take a look at our 6-day outlook, seeing that sun not just for game day, but also throughout the rest of the weekend. Seeing those highs in the 90s and those lows in the mid to upper 60s. So for game day, sunny skies, perfect day to get out and go to the tailgate and even just have some fun, get your tan while you're outside as well. 87 degrees with that low in the low 60s. Sunday as well, seeing that high in the 90s and then seeing those showers lasting throughout the upcoming week as we do have another system making its way through. Back to you.
Thanks, Julia. BBC World News is next, and the PBS News Hour is coming up at 7.
But your Florida news is always on at WUFT.org. Have a good night.